All right, good morning, world. Happy new month. And of course, if you are still on a holiday or are you back to work, I hope that you really enjoyed your holiday and had enough time to rest. Welcome to the show. This is Your World. My name is Winnie Lubambe. And like we always say, whether you're watching us within the East African region or the entire globe, we're happy that you have tuned in. Now, the tradition of marriage in modern society has changed in the last century as several alternatives to marriage have become available and grown to be more popular than marriage for today's couples due to its suitability to the current conditions. Now, according to Pew Research Center, some of these alternative statuses to marriage are cohabitation, divorce, or simply continuing to stay single. Now, with a vast array of technological advancements and the quote-unquote live fast, die young marriages of the 21st century are not just at the brink of collapsing, but are collapsing. So today we seek to understand why this shift. So is it a case of a microwave attitude, easy in, easy out? Or is it time to face the facts and embrace contractual form of relationships? Well, DP's allies say President is unjustifiably frustrated with Ruto. This comes after President criticized DP for abandoning his duties. A record 7,000 wants to contest as independent candidate in August polls. Nominated Member of Parliament David Sankok questioned over his son's death. And Kenya hails steps made to improve space for free media as Tanzania government is under pressure to change repressive media laws. All right, and of course, since today it's all about relationships and marriage and 21st century, we are asking you, what do you think is the cause of rising cases of divorce or separation in marriages and relationships? Once again, what do you think is the cause of rising cases of divorce or separation in marriage and relationships? Keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie. Remember to use the hashtag YourWorld. That is if you're interacting with us on Twitter, but also on Facebook as well. That is at NTV Kenya. And just tell us what you think is the cause of the rise in cases of divorce or separation in marriages and relationships. But if you want to call in live and also chime into the conversation of the day, feel free to do so. The numbers will be down on your screen, and let's interact, get to understand why, and is it too late to go back to the fundamentals as far as marriages are concerned? So it's going to be an amazing discussion you do not want to miss. But before we delve into the conversation of the day, how about we take a look at some of the stories that we have so far? But let's take a look at the COVID-19 numbers first of all, because we're still dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, which again has ravaged the entire globe. So how are we doing now as far as the global figures? So what you're seeing on your screen up until now, 514,653,221. And this is the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases. And this is across the globe. And then 469,151,118. This is the total number of recoveries, but unfortunately 6,265,797 people have lost their lives to COVID-19. And this is the global figures. But coming back to the country, And according to the Health Ministry's statistics, 323,796, and this is the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases. No new cases reported, and this is as per yesterday. And then 318,010. This is the total number of recoveries recorded so far, but 5,649 other people have unfortunately lost their lives to COVID-19. So that tells you that, again, we need to still be a little bit more cautious in as much as some of these protocols were laid down. So you need to be a little bit cautious just to make sure that you protect yourself and those ones around you. But to some of the stories that we have so far, and it is not yet over for candidates who won the nomination in the Azimio One Kenya coalition, as the party now says they will be doing zoning to avoid losing seats to their Kenya Kwanza counterparts. ODM leader Raila Odinga confirmed that while meeting leaders from Mount Kenya yesterday. Nayoma Sampao has that story.
Today, the ODM leader held meetings with leaders contesting for different seats in the counties of Murang'a and Kiambu in the Jubilee Party, whom he is banking on to be his foot soldiers with the hope of getting rid of Raila-phobia in the mountain. Raila took the opportunity to assure those who will lose due to their association with him that his government will consider them.
Mtembee kama mko na madaha, hapana ogopa. Ati nikitaja jina Raila sitaweza kupata kura. Usipopata kura Raila atapata wewe kazi. Don't fear. Sawa.
Elected leaders in the Jubilee Party accompanied Raila as they sought to erode the political gains made by Deputy President William Ruto in the region. There has been a concern of Mount Kenya leaders in the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition shying from openly embracing Raila's candidature. The leaders have called on those in the coalition to be on the front line to root out the fear from the leaders and the people of the mountain.
Usione shida ukiweka posta weka pale weka hata picha. Wengine wetu waliweka picha ya Uhuru.
Sasa mimi nasema mimi nitaingia peke yangu, nitafanya campaign kwanza peke yangu. Sitaki mimi pana project ya Uhuru. Mkiniona mmeona Uhuru. Sawa. Lakini mimi niakuja pale kama baba. Sio karagosi ya Uhuru. Sawa. Na mimi nataka nyinyi nyote mbebe bendera hii. Bendera ya ukombozi ya 3. Tunapanda naye mlima mpaka tufike naye kule kwenye kelele ya mlima.
The leaders urged the Mount Kenya region not to support Ruto for opposing the Building Bridges initiative, which they say would have brought more development to the region.
In the unlikely event that he convinces people ati wamchague, what would like to happen? The first thing is to recover ile pesa ametumia kwa campaign. The next thing is to put a war chest for 2027. Barabara yenyu tutatengenezwa na nini? Where shall we get development? So those are the facts we need to know.
And the deputy president, with all due respect, can he say that he loves people of Murang'a more than President Uhuru anaweza penda watu wa Murang'a? Is that possible? But then somehow our children have been convinced kwamba huyu baba, huyu uncle ya kuleta peremende is more important to them. Anawapenda kuliko wale parents wake ambayo wanalipa school fees, amewajengea nyumba.
Odinga also weighed in on the contentious zoning issue, which has unsettled most leaders in the coalition. Odinga now says that the apex part of the coalition will, after some time, come up with a formula of finding the most favorable candidate for the coalition in different seats in all the counties so as to avoid dividing their support base and advantaging their opponents.
Mtaenda kiwanjani kukampeni. Baada ya mwezi moja, mwezi mbili, tutaangalia kwanza. Manake tutaki tugawanye kura adui ipite katikati yetu. Kwa hivyo baada ya mwezi moja na nusu namna hii tutaangalia ni nani yuko juu zaidi kushinda mwingine. Sawa? Alafu sasa hapo tutasema wewe pumzika. Tuache mwingine aendelee mbele. Sisi sawa?
Azimio has also set up a strategic team tasked with setting up committees from the ward levels to the constituencies and counties all over the country to ensure their manifesto reflects the issues on the ground. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
And elsewhere, a section of leaders allied to Deputy President Dr. William Ruto have asked President Uhuru Kenyatta to stop directing what they have termed as his frustrations to his deputy, that is William Ruto, for the problems facing Kenyans. The leaders maintain that it was President Kenyatta's own choice to sideline his deputy in the running of the government. Take a look.
And that kind of lamentation na makasiriko tuliona, it is not good. It is not good to our leader at the seat that he holds. Have you forgotten about the executive order number 1 of 2018 that you gave? You drew all his responsibilities to somebody else. He should be asking those others that he gave.
Sisi hautusikizi, wengine wetu hata ukiwa kwa mkutano ukituona unatoroka. How are we going to tell you ile mashida wa Kenya wa Murang'a na wa Kenya yote wanapitia? Uliona ni vyema mshikane na hiyo kitendawili. Na huyo ndio makamu wako wa rais in this second term. So rais, tafadhali beba mzigo yako ikiwa yote.
Now, with the deadline for submitting names and symbols for those seeking to run as independents in the August elections having passed, the ball is now in the hands of the IEBC. The IEBC is now tasked with clearing and accommodating an unprecedented number of independent contestants. Olive Barrows looks at bottom line.
A record 7,212 applicants have declared their intent to contest the August polls. 5,845 of them declaring interest in the member of county assembly seat alone. An unprecedented number by all accounts, given in the 2017 general election, 3,752 run as independents.
The leverage of cutting deals in terms of tenders and things like that, you know. So you have authority, people come to you. Again, it is because of corruption, because corruption is now a big industry, and corruption is linked to leadership, and therefore, where do you get the resources? In leadership.
And while experts view it as a vote of no confidence in party democracy,
remember the parties were supposed to give their venues where they were supposed to hold their nominations. They were also to refer to their membership lists, and some of them did not. So wananchi were left there wondering what kind of nomination is this.
If your party is within this coalition and you see your chances are slim within that coalition, you know, that house is now big, then you try your luck elsewhere.
They also view it as an expansion of the democratic space.
Yeah, our electoral system is fairly expensive, but also, you know, democracy is a very expensive enterprise, right? If you want to do it right, you have to invest money in it.
There is, of course, the material cost to consider.
If you're talking of 7,000 independent candidates, and you're not even put the other candidates who have been nominated by the parties, you've not even put all the presidential candidates. So definitely there'll be a stretch in terms of the printing of the ballot papers.
Imagine a polling station with 25 MCAs, 7 MPs, 3 governors, 6 maybe women rep positions, and then maybe right now there are 46 or 26 presidential candidates. Now, how do these people fit in a polling station? What kind of polling station or polling center do you need to ensure that there is sufficient space for all the agents of these people to be there?
Then there are the intangibles, experts advising that you're likely to spend longer not only in the polling station, but in the queues outside waiting to vote. In its evaluation of the 2017 general election, the Electoral Commission identified ballot papers as a key expenditure area. The Commission also intends to increase the number of polling centres from the 40,883 gazetted in 2017 to 53,300. Olive Burrows, NTV.
Well, thanks, Oliver. And to a story about the long 5-day holiday of sorts. While many use the days for a well-deserved or needed break, others have had problems with the break, noting how the 5-day holiday impacted their earnings and productivity. Lois Ongoi spoke to some Kenyans and why they are not happy.
While most Kenyans welcomed the long weekend of 5 days, a section of them say the long weekend break from work was not a pleasant one.
So this holiday, for me naona imekuwa too long because unarudi kwa nyumba unangoja watoto wanakungoja, rent pale inakungoja na so naona ni ngumu. Sija enjoy. For me sija enjoy.
Take Abraham Maru and William Kiplagat, for instance. They work as craftsmen repairing farming equipment at this port in Pioneer Estate, Eldoret Town. They say the long weekend ate into their pockets and the break kept their customers away from their business premises.
For the business, is holiday haisaidii. For real, haiwezi saidia. Kasi yetu imekuwa chini, haijakuwa kama kila siku kwa sababu watu wako holiday.
Albertine Kenei is a mother of 3. She says they're just concluding long weekend, so her hairdressing business suffer in earnings as most of her customers stayed home. Her colleague at work, Jepchumba Kemboi, agrees with her.
So this holiday imekuwa sana ngumu kwetu kwa sababu tuliporudisha tu watoto shule, holiday ikaanza. Hatuna anything kwa mfuko. So life has been too hard for us. Sasa kwa hii 5 days naona imekuwa ngumu kwangu because hii holiday ni ngumu sana because hatuna pesa. Hapa tunategemea commission na hiyo commission yenyewe hatuna.
The majority of those in self-employment say the 5-day long weekend is a privilege to those in employment, especially public servants. Now, they want the government to think of those in self-employment in scheduling public holidays.
So serikali kuja tena kuleta tena another 5-day holiday, tumewaste mwezi zingine kutafuta mafuta, corona, like hatu deserve size holiday. Ile niumiza. Yeah.
At least Kenya serikali watusaidie kwa gawa hizi holidays. At least kama watu Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you ingine shift kwa another month.
The 5-day break presented with it Kenyans who enjoyed every bit of it, but on the other hand, a lot more of Kenyans who preferred to have it not. Lois Wangoi, NTV, in the county of Uasin Gishu.
All right, thanks, Lois. Where do you stand? Do you want the entire 5 days holiday, or do you want them to be split, like one of the persons said? But to a developing story, where detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, that is DCI, questioned nominated Member of Parliament David Ole Sankok about an incident in which his son allegedly shot himself to death. Now, the legislator was required to recount the events leading up to Memusi Sankok's death at their home in Ewasungiro, Narok County. Several members of his family, including his wife and co-workers, have also recorded their statements. According to the detectives, Memusi, a high school student, shot himself in the chin and died on the spot. The detectives are trying to establish how the 15-year-old boy got his hands on the gun from where it was kept in the house. Sankok's gun was discovered next to the body at around 4 p.m. on Monday, according to Narok DCI boss Mwenda Ethaiba.
Tumeungana na ndugu yangu hapa mjumbe wa hapa, tusaidiane na yeye tuweze kusimama naye, na saa hii tuko kwa utaratibu ya kumaliza na kuanza utaratibu ya mambo ya kuweza kujua tutapangaje mambo ya mazishi na ni siku gani. Tunataka kukaa chini na familia tukimaliza maombi ndio tuanze mpangilio hiyo, kwa sababu Sisi ndio tutaanza kupanga hiyo mambo, wengine wakikuja wakute structure tumeanza kuweka.
Kuna vitu ambayo iko kwa social media. We just want to condemn people who write bad things. When one dies, allegations made, allegations that are not, you can't even stand with them. Because Sankoki is our colleague, and colleagues should stand with each other. I believe in comradeship, and when people get such hivi saizi hii pigo kubwa, I think hii maneno ya social media should be stopped.
And Kenya has joined the rest of the world in marking World Press Freedom Day, that is on Tuesday, with a focus to progress made to open up the media space in Kenya. The theme for this year's day is Journalism Under Digital Siege, sought to focus on the impact of the digital era on freedom of expression, journalist safety, and the access to information. The Eastern Africa Editors Society commemorated the day in Arusha, where the continent's media fraternity gathered. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu closed the conference.
The conference in Tanzania brought together media organizations from across the continent to commemorate the day, presided over by President Samia Suluhu. The Tanzanian government is under pressure to change the draconian media laws enacted in 2016 impeding journalism in the country.
Mlizi mzuri ni wewe mwenyewe. Tizama unalolifanya, pima. Nikifika mpaka hapa inatosha. Nikisogea hapa yule mama nitakuwa namkorofisha na mimi sitakuacha.
Killings, arrests and detentions of journalists in Kenya may be rare now, although they characterized previous administrations. However, according to Reporters Without Borders, Kenya was ranked at position 102 out of 180 countries in the 2021 Global Press Freedom Index, making it one of the worst rankings in recent memory.
Tulivyo rahimu, hamuandiki. Mnaenda kujivua nguo na kuambia wengine huku hakuna demokrasi, huku kuna udikteta, huku huyu mama huyu sijui kafanyaje.
Journalists worldwide, particularly in Africa, have faced censorship, harassment, equipment destruction and restrictions on access to information. As a result, gains in media freedom have been sharply eroded. Editors told the conference that the detention of journalists in Ethiopia, the arrest of 9 journalists in Uganda, and the killings in Ethiopia, Somalia, and Chad are all backward steps that undermine media freedom gains.
We captured a total of 131 cases of abuses and violations, where a majority of them, to be specific, 82 of them were at the hands of the police.
Back in Kenya, journalists marked the occasion in different counties. Journalists protested peacefully in Meru and Busia, urging the government to ensure their safety.
Uchaguzi unakaribia, ni wakati ambao mwanahabari anapata vitisho vya hapa na pale kutokana na wanasiasa ambao wana malengo tofauti.
Tumeshuhudia kule Busia, tumeshuhudia kule Kakamega na Viga, na kwa hivyo tungependa kwamba wanasiasa watuchukue sisi kama watu ambao wanafanya kazi kwa mujibu wa sheria, na kwa hivyo watupatie nafasi.
In Uasin Gishu County, the journalist body spent time at the Jesus Love Ministries orphanage, where they distributed food and shared meals with the children. And when they spoke, they emphasized the importance of journalist safety and urged media executives to rethink the welfare of media personnel. The Kenya Media Council will host 2 major events to commemorate World Press Freedom Day. The annual Media Summit will be held on Thursday, May 5th. MCK will also host the 10th Annual Journalism Excellence Awards AJEA on the evening of May 6th. Kenya is home to over 200 community radio stations and several newspapers, magazines, TV stations and online broadcasts, all of which face constant infringement from both state and non-state actors. Brian Obuya, NTV.
All right, thanks, Brian Obuya, for that. Indeed, It is important to allow journalists to just do their job, but at the same time ensure that they are safe, even in the line of duty, especially now that we're heading towards the general elections. Well, let's shift gears and focus on the conversation of the day, which I really look forward to. And it's all about, of course, the changing dynamics when it comes to marriage and relationships. And the question that we're asking you today is that why do we see a lot of cases that is as far as divorce and separation is concerned in marriages and relationships? Once again, what do you think is the cause of rising cases of divorce or separation in marriage and relationships? Interact with us on our socials. That is at NTV Kenya, at Lubembe_Winnie. Remember to use the hashtag Your World and tell us what you feel about the same. But if you want to call in live and give us your feedback as well, you're allowed to do so. The numbers will be down on your screen in just a moment, and just tell us how you feel about this whole aspect of divorce and separation in marriages and relationships and why the high numbers of the same. Okay, I've seen some of your feedback, but of course we'll be sampling them during the conversation. So let me introduce my guest for the day, of course, who will help us drive the conversation. And of course, on my immediate left, I have Rosalina Tieno Omondi, who's director is it Omoka or Omoka?
Omoka.
Digital Solutions. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Karibu sana to the show. And then I also have Pastor Sally Githinji. It is so good to see you once again. How are you doing this morning?
Good.
You're well. Karibu sana, Pastor Sally.
Thank
and then we also have Geoffrey Juma, who's a sexual reproductive health advocate. Good morning and karibu sana to the show. How are you this morning?
I'm very fine.
All right. And of course, we also have Victor Lumbete Salamba, who's a relationship coach. He's not new on the show. You know him and you love him. So it's good to see you, Victor. How are you doing this morning?
I'm very good.
Karibu sana.
Thanks.
All right. Let's just start with you, Victor. In terms of looking around, yesterday I was looking at an article. I came across an article that said 7 reasons why marriages will die in the 21st century. And of course, they listed a number of, of reasons why, which again we'll be focusing on as we continue with the show. But the question is, what do marriages or even relationships in general, before we even transition to marriage, what do relationships look like now?
Now it's more of a casino.
Why?
You know, I think now we are gambling so much. You know?
Yeah.
I think now, if you look at a couple getting married, there was a time when we did some research a couple of years back, and you're like, most marriages break from between this year to this year, from like 13 to 16 years. Now, we threw that research out of the window. Because now guys get married today, go for their honeymoon, come back in separate flights. And it's over.
Okay.
And so right now we are in a place where it's very interesting because we don't have I believe the skill set, the resilience, the desire to really make the marriages work. And I think right now if you look at relationships now, to be honest, I think that if you speak to many married people and ask them, you know, and tell them that I'm really praying for a partner, they'll ask you why.
True.
You know, they'll ask you why are you in a hurry?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, I can't say that from my experience and what I see daily, we are not in a very good place. I can say that if I compare from when I began to practice, and now I can say that relationships are far much better now than they were then. I think now they are more on edge than they were before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I want to ask Pastor Sally the same, and I'm happy that we have 2 young people who are married on set today. So of course, I also want to hear your view. But Pastor Sally, look, like comparing then and now, in your perspective and in your view, what do marriages look like? Victor says it's a casino.
I think I'll say it's a pandemic.
It's a pandemic.
Yes. A global one for that matter.
Right?
Yes.
Why?
The situation is worse and it's still worsening.
Okay.
I think we've lost the real meaning of what all that is relationship is all about, and also marriages.
Okay.
And Vita said that many people, you know, when they go for honeymoon and they come back, they're not staying longer like in our days we used to.
That's true.
And I also believe one of the reasons is because people are starting with honeymoon first. Yes.
Wait, it's not, no?
Yes, in relationships. We said we are transitioning from relationship to marriage.
Yes. Oh, so we start the honeymoon phase in relationships and then
exactly.
before we get to marriage.
And so by the time you're getting to marriage, you're very tired.
Oh man, that's sad.
Yes,
that's
very sad. Yes. And then now you cannot be able to learn
the person, because you started first of all with the feelings, and you know they're always wild, and as they say, they make you blind. So after you're done with, you're settling down, you begin to realize you see all manner of faults.
Yeah. It's like,
and
I
you
don't
can't stomach
really
that.
like this person anyway. Okay,
Yes.
all right. Pandemic, casino. Rosaline, what is it to you?
A relationship is, okay, marriages, they're just, it's a great feeling, let me say. But it's not a ride in the park. So I guess the problem comes where when we lose the purpose, the foundation. And as the relationship coach was saying, when you ask someone who is in a marriage right now, that you tell them that you're looking for a partner, they'll ask for the purpose.
Yeah.
Because that's what we lose, and that's why the relationships are coming to an end so easily. The moment we lose the purpose, the foundation, what was it founded from? Let's say a relationship is like a big building, a big story building, that you have to start from the ground foundation. You can't start a building from the 7th floor.
True.
Let's say if you're building a 12th floor building, you have to start from the foundation, from the ground. So if the ground is weak, definitely even if it's after 30 years, the building is going to collapse.
Okay.
So we have to, let's go back to the foundation. That's where we're going wrong.
Okay, all right. And then lastly, Jeffrey, very quickly, because you're in one, right? You're married. What would you say it is for you?
Personally, I would say marriage is like gambling.
Okay.
Gambling
casino.
With
casino part 2.
Yeah,
all
casino.
Right.
Simply because we are in a generation where it's very hard for you to find a genuine relationship or marriage.
Okay.
Most of the marriages and relationship nowadays, they're based on interest. Most of them, they are based on sexual interest. Nowadays, we don't have that that taste of of relationship and marriage. People go into marriage to fulfill their their interest, to fulfill their desires. This is what is making a relationship to be more toxic.
Okay. All right. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. And I'd love to hear your stories, both of you, especially Rosaline and Geoffrey, as far as your experiences in marriage, because like I said, you're pretty young. Okay. So would want to understand how is it, so far for you, some of the challenges that you've gone through. But let's just take a look at some of the feedback that you had to say as far as the question of the day. And that is, why do you think there's a rise in the number of divorce and separation, especially in marriages and relationships? So Babalaki says, marrying young, limited education and food, that is income, right? Living together before commitment to marriage, premarital pregnancy, coming from a divorced family, and feelings of insecurity, high cost of living as well, right? And then let's get to hear what someone else has to say. So at Sheldon 37 says, ethical egoism did take its place. Hiya, okay. All right, and then let's get to hear what someone else said. No Frills says, failing to consult and obey the one who ordained the institution in the first place. Okay, all right. And then Babalaki again says, marrying for the wrong reason. Okay, and I usually ask that question, is there really a wrong reason when it comes to marriage? But again, we'll find out during the conversation. And then George Samba says, women stroke girl child empowerment without boy child empowerment. This girl child empowerment has been blamed for a number of things, but I hear you, I hear you. All right, so keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie, and of course remember to use the hashtag Your World. But I also want to hear your voice, so feel free to give us a call. The numbers are down on your screen, and help us understand what is really going on as far as relationships. Because day in, day out, you wake up and you hear someone has separated, someone has divorced, someone was dating someone, and then all of a sudden they're no longer together. And we're asking why? What is really going on? But of course, from the things that we have seen, and of course the feedback that people have said, is that people are marrying for the wrong reasons. And Victor, I wanted to throw this to you. Is there like a wrong reason to get married?
I don't think there's a wrong reason or a right reason.
Okay, all right.
I'm saying this because again, let me just say from the experience that I've had, there are things that I've seen over the couple of years. Okay, on average, I think I see about 40 to 50 couples per week. And that's a huge number to get data.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when you hear wrong, right reason, it really depends, you know. I've seen couples who got married specifically because, hey, you have money and I want someone who has money, let's get married.
Yep.
And it actually worked.
Yeah.
You know, I know people who got married because they were looking for a visa. You know, they wanted to be Kenyan citizens and they got married and it still worked, you know. The issue that always comes about is that we think that that relationships work with autopilot. The assumption you have, number one, we think we are easy to love.
Are we not?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. If you find anyone who actually loves you,
you've never met someone who says, but I'm easy to love. I have no... Okay, we're not.
Yeah, so the assumption that we think that marriage works on autopilot, we think that because we always think that it's going to work, you know, it's going to work itself out. I am in love with you, and let's proceed forward, you know. But the biggest illusion that I think is bigger, I prefer a couple who get married and say, listen, we are getting married because now we are at the point where I want children, and you can provide them. I prefer a couple like that 100 times, and a couple that walks into my office and asks them, give me a reason why you want to get married. Say that because we're in love. To me, the ones that are in love, I tell them I'm going to give you a permanent membership card.
Yeah.
Because you'll come here for a very long time.
The last time you were here, we tried to understand what exactly love is, because I think this is a thing that we hear a lot of the times. We're in love. Me, I love this person, and I don't care what my family says. Me, I love this person, I don't care what the world says. But really, do we really understand what the term is?
Because you know, in a relationship, and you have to note this, that love is not a feeling.
Yeah.
It's a conscious, deliberate choice.
Okay.
Because it's a verb. So it's something I have to keep on doing.
Yes.
And those who are married for a long time will tell you that there are days you wake up in the morning and you look at your partner and you wonder, what were you smoking? You know. and that's the point when you even test them more.
Yeah.
It's that time when I ask my wife something and she'll look at me and wonder, why is he asking me at this point?
Yeah.
But the conscious, deliberate choice is she'll have to do something that expresses love to me at that particular point.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have to look at something. You have to look at what is the issue that is there before. A marriage is broken by one big problem. Pre-existing problems and problems that the marriage has created.
Okay.
Right now, 80% of marriages are breaking because of problems that are older than the marriage.
True.
Not the ones that the marriage brought.
That marriage comes.
The older ones are always
Yeah.
the blind side for most couples.
All right. Yeah. And Pastor Sally, let me throw this to you, and then I'll come back to Rosalind and Geoffrey. So, and what Victor is saying, I think resonates with almost all of us. And the question is, are we just a bunch of broken people who are looking for love? And of course, in this case, you know, in our spouses, you know, so that we get that sense, that feeling of, you know what, actually someone loves me.
I think to some point, some people, one of the reasons why marriages are also failing is that people are broken.
Okay.
From the first time when they started their first relationships and it didn't work. And they got this notion that marriage is a lie or love is a lie. Because once you fall in love for the first time, you have all this kind of a thought that it's going to be okay.
Yes.
And this dream that is going to work. So you can imagine the frustration when it doesn't. And so what happens is that people become so frustrated within, and they're so broken within that now getting to another relationship, they're insecure. They haven't dealt with the frustrations they got and you know, the idea that came along when that relationship broke. Probably they didn't go through counseling, they didn't transit that, you know, loss and grieving for that relationship well. Yeah. So they get to another relationship and they're still hurting. So when they get to this relationship, the next one, they are still non-committal. They're not committing. Somewhere in between, they're telling themselves, I'm just here just in case. If it works, it's okay. If it doesn't work, it's okay. I'll quit. And then if I was able to go through the first one, heartbreak, I'll still go through the second one.
Okay.
So they're not committed in because they're hurting from within. And that's why I would encourage that if you are in any relationship that broke, before you go to another one, make sure that you have healed or you have transited or healthily.
Yes.
You've gone through the loss and the grief healthily so that you can be able to embrace another one.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
All right. So I'll come back to you. And also, Victor, there's something else that And I think, Pastor Sally, you've mentioned, and that is the fact that some people would get into a relationship saying, you know what, let's try. So ni gumoja nje, gumoja ndani. If it works, sawa. If it doesn't work, then it's very easy for you to go. And is that one of the reasons why we have like a high number of separation and divorces, especially when it comes to marriage now? But Rosaline, you have a story. But again, it's up to you to totally tell us, you know, what you're comfortable, you know, to talk about, because of course you were in a relationship, you know, with your spouse, and then there was a lot of things that happening. At some point, family tried to say, you know what, because it's way better for both of you, you know. But you chose to stick by your partner, right? What happened? Let's go back.
So I started dating immediately, for the first time, immediately after I finished high school.
For the first time?
For the first time.
Wow, okay.
So I used to really have this negative attitude towards men, because I was like, okay, why do we have to be together with a man anyway? Because growing up, it's not like it's an experience I really wanted. Recently, a friend even called me and asked me, do you remember what you wanted at 16? Was being in a marriage part of what you wanted? I'm like, no. Okay. It was not even on my mind.
Why? Why did you have that negative, you know, attitude towards men and dating?
I'd see how, okay, in my family, personally, I'd see how the husbands and wives were relating. And I was this resilient person growing up. So I never expected someone to start telling me what to do, what not to do. Telling me you are supposed to go towards this direction. Yeah. It's so hard to date. I'm still trying to adjust to that. That at times, you know, in a relationship, you have to work together. You don't have to go things your way and I do my way, because if we decide to go different ways, then we can never meet at any point. You see, you'll choose your path, I'll choose my path. Yeah. So I never really wanted to get into a relationship. I just wanted to keep, if I was ever to be in any relationship with a man, I wanted it to be friendship and nothing else. Maybe if it's business, maybe. But having to sit with you every day looking at your face,
waking up with that person every day, no.
That cannot be me. I can't wake up every day and I'm looking at someone and be like,
I can even see like the expressions on your face.
Yeah, and I'll be like, oh, like, can you please go somewhere else? Okay, let me just leave. I'll come back. You see?
Okay.
But I was like, so that's why I started looking at the purpose.
Okay.
So I have this notion of, if something will not affect me in the next 5 years, I should not pay any attention to it, you see. So when I crossed paths with my partner, we never had, having a relationship was not even a goal. Okay. We were just having conversations. Right. We talk about politics, we talk about everything else, but relationships. No. I was so skeptic about it. Okay. I was like, ask me about anything, but please don't ask me
to be your girlfriend.
Yeah, or even what love. Okay, I today I'm not sure if I really know what love is, but I know how it feels like.
Okay.
And I know it's not something that it's not a shoe. Let's say it's not a shoe. You see, a shoe, you can buy a shoe, let's say 5 years ago you were at size 37. Then you grow. Now you're at 42. Now you cannot put on that 37 because it's so uncomfortable. And I think that's how many people are treating marriages right now. It feels, when it gets uncomfortable, you throw it away.
It's like you're confined in this thing called marriage. Yeah. So you had a negative attitude towards marriage, relationships,
it was just
men, everything in general. But what changed your mind?
I did.
Okay. You made a choice.
I was like, 5 years from now, where do I want to be? See, and it's not that a man is not like a necessity, but I'll need one to get somewhere. I want to have a family. I can't have a family alone. See? Okay. So it's like let me. I'm not giving it a shot. Let me just do this.
All right.
Because if I was just giving it a shot, trust me, I have many reasons to have backed out.
Yeah.
Because the family, my friends were like, no, you're not this type of person to be in a relationship right now. You can't do this.
Yeah.
Utaumia, this, utaumia.
You were not meant to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't do this. I'm telling you, so someone is telling you that she or he had an experience, and trust me, it's not something that you'd like to go through to. I'm like, that was your experience, you see?
Okay.
That was your outline. Then the thing is, before I even got into a relationship, someone will tell me that, you know, this has to happen. If this is not happening, please go.
Okay.
If this is not, this has to happen. So that's like treating a marriage like having a course outline. You see the way in school we have a course outline for a specific unit. So we're treating marriage as a unit.
It has
now,
to be.
Yeah. So introduction.
From
after introduction, we go to this. We go to this. We go to this.
All right.
So the moment you realize that hey, we are in step 10, but we've not gone through 4, 5, 6.
That is a red flag out.
Yeah,
okay.
red flags.
All right. So I hear you, and Pastor I'm pretty sure you can gather a lot of things from what she's saying. There's a lot of influences. First of all, background, and then based on the things that she would see as far as relationships is concerned. Of course, that one way or the other influenced her, her perspective as far as relationship is concerned. Can we just talk about then the depth of, let's say, influence that the background has on a person, and of course that in turn may be changing their perspective as far as relationship or marriage in general?
Sure. We are talking about how this generation, there are a lot of breakups in relationships and marriages. And of course we know that even a marriage is abusive, you're not supposed to stay in it. That's very clear, because you've seen so many people die, maybe because of suicide cases or even murder cases, because of staying in a relationship or a marriage that is not working. Sure. But again, to the end of that matter is that simply because you are walking out of a relationship or marriage that is not working does not mean that it's not going to have effect on the children. Sure. Staying in an abusive marriage will have effect on the children, yes. Yeah. And also pulling out will still have effect on the children. Absolutely. Because they will, also think or have this negative attitude, like she is saying, concerning marriage. Yeah. Those are some of the things that children pick, and they begin to think that marriage is a scam, because they thought that I thought daddy loves mommy or mommy loves daddy. I thought that our family or our home was a place where I would come to a peaceful place where I would grow up in, and then suddenly it falls apart. Yeah. So these children begin to think marriage is not real and it cannot work. Yeah. And so they move out from their home. Probably they go stay with the dad or stay with the mom, and then the mom picks themselves up, the father picks himself up, and they raise their children. Yeah. And so that child, grows also thinking it is not a must that I get married. True. Like she's also saying, it's not a must I get married. Yeah. You'll hear some of the young people saying, I've been raised by a single dad or a single mom, and we are okay. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing I lacked in life. Yeah. Everything was there for me, provided for me with school fees. I needed to go out or shopping or whatever children would need. It was provided for. Yeah. So when that person grows and you begin to tell them that they need to settle in a marriage, or they see other people settling in a relationship, they're asking, what is the big deal? I mean, it's not a must. Yeah. It's not a must. I've been in a relationship. What's the point? I can have my life and stay. And then now you see with that, because we are also social beings, and for that matter, we're also sexual beings. True. So we just can't say that I am going to stay alone. So what will that breed in the long run? Just having relationships that are non-committal. I don't want to get committed to you as much, but what they call friends with benefits. Yes, that's where it all begins. Yeah. So I would say that family, setup and backgrounds also really influence a lot what is happening in today's
especially
generation.
what we're seeing right now. Okay, so we need to take a break. Geoffrey, I'll come back to you as well, because you got married and then separated with your wife, and then, made amends, and you're back together now. So I'd also want to hear your part of the story as well. But before that, let's take a look at some of the feedback you had to say as far as the question of the day. And that is, why do you think we have a lot of rising cases as far as divorce and separation is concerned? That is the question there on your screen. So let's get to hear what you had to say. So someone says, nowadays, this set of people who do not want to lower their egos to get to solve an issue, they are thinking of getting mad. That getting mad is the solution, but that is not. It kills communication and for that appetite of love, and starts fading. Once it fades, the rest will be, give me a sec, the rest will be history, because everybody wants to act superior to the other, all right? Then someone else says, this is Pauline Rebecca, who says, life has become so difficult, especially the joblessness and rising of all commodities causes the spouses to engage in demeaning and superiority war, okay? And then someone else says, this is Ruthie, says drunkenness, infidelity, and irresponsible habits in both parties. Okay. And then someone else says, this is Love More Liwayo, says, there are so many factors which are causing divorce, mainly financial challenges and lack of knowledge about marriage. All right. Then someone else says, this is Coroso Masima Jr. says, most ladies are looking for love, mapenzi. They are not after marriage, and they are after a high level of life. Allah, okay. All right, thanks, Coroso. And then let's get to hear what someone else says. This is Kakabraza. Kakabraza says, if it doesn't work, hiyo ni wewe. Kwanza wanaume, weak men in society. Okay, I'd want to hear more. What do you mean, Kakabraza, you know, as far as your comment. But keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_. We need to remember to use the hashtag #YourWorld. But like we said, if you want to call in live and of course to chime into the conversation, feel free to do so. The numbers are down on your screen. But before we go on a break, let me tell you about a noble campaign that is ongoing, and children all around Kenya rely on water from unsafe sources, and Colgate is asking you to help change this. Just a little water can make a big difference. For every pack of Colgate you buy exclusively at Naivas, you help us build 30 wells that will provide clean water for 120,000 Kenyans. Give a helping hand shopping at your nearest Naivas store or online, that is at naivas.co.ke. For more information about the campaign, go to Colgate Kenya's Facebook page or wellboring/colgate.com. Terms and conditions apply.
In the spirit of Kenyanness, we have come together to help our brothers and sisters affected by drought. Join us by dialing *126# to donate bonga points, cash or food, and lift one another in oneness.
Pamoja tuungane.
New Even and Mad Dog Spot Corrector. The power of vitamin C. Bye-bye dog spots.
What were you thinking?
Should have called.
Oh, you think? I thought he was dead.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're sorry. Oh, that fixes everything.
I tried to.
Shut up.
If you're trying to get me to like you, then congratulations. It's working.
They're ready for you.
Your sweetheart has something to tell you.
At first, the con jobs, they were enjoyable. Lakini sasa vitu zikaanza kuwa dangerous.
I know.
This is a hustler, a common criminal, a thief.
Chunga vile unaongea na Nat mbele yangu.
Mimi nina Richard.
Nilikuwa nimekupeza.
Hata nilikuwa nakupeza kabisa.
Wewe utajipanga ama nimwambie siri yako.
Simuongee, siri gani?
Natamani kungekuwa na njia tuwe pamoja milele.
Aisha,
nimejua kile ambacho nafaa kufanya. Ndio mimi na wewe tuwe pamoja milele.
Get peace of mind and protect the ones you love with the power of Dettol Bar Soap. It cleans and protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. So no matter what type of mum you are, trust Dettol.
You're watching Your World in association with Colgate.
All right. Of course, the conversation continues even during the break, and it's all about the changing dynamics as far as relationships are concerned. And the question that we're asking you today is, why do you think there's a rise in the number of divorce or separation when it comes to marriages and relationships? So keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie. And tell us, why do you think that is the case? And is it too late to go back to the fundamentals as far as marriages is concerned, and of course what marriage was intended to be? But right about now, let me hear your story, Geoffrey Juma, who's a sexual reproductive health advocate. And of course, like I said, you've also gone through it, you know, sure. And you're young and married young. And of course, from the feedback, one person said, marrying young, first of all, is just a problem in itself. What do you think? Because you married young, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What do you think?
Personally, I can say that marrying young is not a problem. The problem comes when you have different interests in the marriage.
Okay.
I decided to become a father at the age of 20.
Wow. Okay.
By that time, I was in university, get on first year. So when I became a dad, I had to get out of school first to cater for the child and the family.
Yeah.
So at first, everything seemed to be okay. I had money to provide. I had everything, you know, to facilitate
you
and
had
sustain
your life together
Yeah.
at age 20. How amazing is that? So wait, so at 20, were you married or you were just dating and then a child happened to...
We were just dating, and the child just happened to...
all right, so you decided to settle.
We decided to settle.
Good, okay.
Now, 1 year down the line, you're living good, you hang out, you know, you provide everything for the family, so everything seemed to be okay. So the problem started when I lost my job.
Okay.
I've lost my job. I have a house to pay rent, I have bills to settle. My wife doesn't have any source of income. So we started encountering a lot of hardships in terms of meeting ends meet. And my wife tried to fight so hard to stay in the relationship, but again, she said, "Hai, hapa kidogo naumia."
Okay.
So she decided to walk away.
All right.
She walked away with the child. I'm alone in the house. I've never told my mom that I have a child.
Oh,
my entire family knows that Geoffrey is in school, he's studying. It was a secret. So, you know, thinking how to approach my family and tell them, you know, I dropped out of school because of this and this. Now I'm a dad, I have a family. It was an uphill task for me because I never wanted to tell them about it. So, now my wife has gone. The child is very young. I need to do something to bring them back.
Okay.
At first, I never knew where my wife had gone because she just decided to leave when I was not even in the house. I'd gone for some to do some things.
Yeah.
Coming back, she has not left a note, so maybe a message to tell me, Geoffrey,
things are not working.
Things are not working.
Yeah.
So I had to start from zero. I first had to think about how will I again get a source of income.
Okay.
So that, because personally I believed that the financial hardships were the main reason as to why she left. I tried calling her, she's not picking my phone. I cannot share it with anyone apart from my friends. I have no older friends. So I decided to consult with my friend and told him, I told him, John, you know what? Wife Amanda. And they told me, that's another story. Yeah, we can zatafuta mtu mwingine and life goes on. So my wife went. Fortunately, he got another man who had already watered his ground.
Okay.
He has his own financial stability. So they decided to stay. So I tried as much as possible to fight to bring her back, but she had gone. So the only option that I had was to confront my parents and tell them,
you dropped out of school.
I dropped out of school and I'm back again. Kindly accept me and help me.
Okay. So wait, so when she left, like, did she get married? Because from what I'm getting from you, so it was more of not convenience, as in something has happened, the child is here. What do we do? Let's just come and stay together. So it was not like married, like officially the family knows that you're married to her. No?
Yeah. To be honest with you, we had not expected to have a child at that age. So it happened that we had a child. So we had not planned to marry each other. We just wanted to.
It just happened.
Yeah,
Let me bring in Victor in this sense. So Victor, is that the problem in itself? That we did not plan, We have not made, the steps. We have not gone through counseling just to get to understand what marriage is really like. Because 20, you still just want to have a good time. Is that a problem in the first place? That is getting into marriage because, well, a child is here. Let's see what happens.
Because actually that's if you remove the child, that's the question I normally ask.
Yeah.
If you take out that child, would you still have married the same person?
Okay.
That's always the question to ask. And more often than not, you find that people say no.
Yeah. All right.
Right now, statistics show about 68% of people regret who they married.
Yeah, 68 is a
lot.
lot.
Back in time, like,
more than half.
I will do that again. No. I just walk peacefully. So it's always important to note that why did I get married to you? When that reason changes in the marriage will not survive.
Yeah.
If they got married because of financial stability, then through the marriage, there ought to be financial stability.
Yeah.
When that changes, the reason that you got married will always be the reason that keeps you together. Always. Always. So you see that in this particular context, we got married because
a child.
Yes, I had no choice. No, because I had no choice. Yes.
Okay.
Not because I had a choice. So the moment that I get a choice, it is easy for me to move.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about the financial issues and everything, yes, they do build. And people blame that a lot. But to be very honest, there are couples who have survived harsh financial times. I am one. Me and my wife went to very difficult financial times. Yeah. I say when my firstborn was being born, I had 11 Kenyan shillings. 11.
Okay.
Kenyan shillings, and that is, and she was in labor in the house, so that's transport is in that 11 bob.
Oh wow, okay.
But we're able to get through it. So the key thing is always that what brought us together in the first place. So when the ground is shifting, we always go back to ground zero. We came together because has the reason changed?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, has the reason changed? And that's even that some couples don't survive. Maybe if they lose a child, they don't survive. Why? The reason I married is because I wanted a child. You've miscarried twice, or we've lost a child twice, then we have to go. Yeah, we got married because I wanted this. So you find that you have to go back to what was my reason. If you change to kidogo, you will not survive.
There's a problem.
Yeah, our marriage always goes back to that basis. Always goes to that basis. That's why you find that when kids grow and go, you have a chance of still staying together. People who have been married for long will tell you that the real honeymoon in marriage is not at the beginning.
Yeah.
The real honeymoon in marriage is when the kids have gone.
Yeah.
That's
and then
the
you
real
just
honeymoon.
back the two of you.
The real one is at the very end.
Yeah.
And so if the reason did not change all through, is we can lose our jobs, we can lose this, but I go back to this is why I decided to be with you.
Yeah. And also, and not to say that Geoffrey's reason why, you know, staying with the wife is wrong, because we've also seen some people who said, listen, hata sisi tulianza tu hivyo, you know, a child came and you were like, now you can't raise this child alone. Let's try, let's do this, and it works, you know. And for some people, again, the marriage does not sustain. And also, Rosalind mentioned something which got me thinking, where she was like, you know what I was told is that there's step 1, step 2, step 2A, step 2B, and you have to somewhat follow this. If you do not follow it, then that's it. You're out. So I'm pretty sure someone is watching us and thinking, hey, so some of these reasons, maybe I am, you know, like I got into marriage in one of these reasons that we're saying might not be right, might not be sustainable. So Pastor Sally, so then is there a specific rule, way, process, you know, to get into marriage?
I don't think there's a specific rule, but I also want to let us and our audience know that there is somebody who started marriage, and that is God.
True.
At the Garden of Eden. And so he had what he had in mind when he was bringing a man and a woman together. When we are talking about the reason here, we go back there to know what was the reason, what was in the mind of God. Why was God so much interested to ensure that there's a man and a woman who starts a relationship and a family for that matter? And I believe mostly it's not all these other reasons of children or finances or, you know, or maybe I'm getting old and, you know, the clock is ticking and I need to get married, or because my friends have, you know, gone ahead and I feel like I have pressure. I also want to get married as soon as. I think the major reason is because God wanted man and woman to have companionship.
Okay.
That's the main reason for companionship. And also when we talk about companionship, we're also talking about intimacy for that matter. And you know, many people think that intimacy is about love and love making, which is not. It is not totally. It's that connectedness that we have and the support that we give one another as people in a relationship or as a couple. If we are together and we are not having companionship and intimacy, every other thing that will come that is a negative effect to the marriage, it's going to fall apart.
That's true.
Whether, like Victor is saying, if maybe there are no children, then we'll not have any reason to stay together. You miscarried twice, thrice, there's no reason for us to stay together. Or we're having financial constraints, or someone is unwell, you know, for a long period, no reason to stay together. But I think if we go back to the reason why God created and initiated marriage, is that we'll find that it was for the reason of companionship. No procreation, not any other thing. That we, you know, because we are social beings and God wants us to have that companionship and to have that intimacy as a couple.
I like that. I like that. And then, of course, over time, and like I said in my intro, we've seen a lot of shifts, you know, as far as marriage is concerned. Statistics show, again, there's a huge decline in terms of the number of people who are getting married. Some people choose to stay single. Some people choose not to get married in terms of, let me just stay alone. If I need someone, there's someone I can easily call, you know, and let's have a good time, and then, you know, that's it. There's some people who say, I'll just have a child and stay as a single mom or as a single dad. So I like what you're bringing up is, at the end of the day, what is the reason why marriage was ordained? And that is for companionship. But we still have a lot of cases of stigma where people who are married and then there's no child, is like everybody's like, yo, what's happening? Yeah, where's the child? We need to see the fruits. Yeah, we need the baby. You know. But let's go back to the foundation of marriage, and that is for companionship. So Rosalind, you had a negative attitude towards men, towards relationships, towards marriage in general. But of course, that changed over time. And here you are today. You're married, right? And you said you made that deliberate choice to say, you know what? this is what I've had, this is what I've grown seeing, but this is me choosing to get married to my partner. So when you got married, so did the child come first, or what is it the same case as Geoffrey, or for yours it was different in terms of let's just get married and then see how this goes?
Okay, so for me, I don't have a child.
Oh, no child. Oh, wait, I'm confusing with Geoffrey. Okay, sorry. So no child, but you decided to settle down with this person. Was it more of a struggle, especially in the beginning? Because like you said, you did not want this. And when you met your partner, it was more of, let's talk about any other thing, you know? So when you decided to settle down with your partner, right? Was it more of a struggle?
Yes, it was a struggle at first because there was a lot of comments from people from outside, you see.
Okay.
People who know him and from people who know me.
Yeah.
So they are like, this won't work.
Yeah.
The friends are
Why
like...
Why did they say that? I'm really curious.
Because we're from two different worlds, okay? Plus, the way I perceive things and the way his friends think he perceives things, they felt it was different and they were like... these dots can't join. Then, you know, okay, so me, I have this view of the only person who can change the idea I have about you is you see. Okay. So it's you to tell me. So if I ask you something, then you send me to someone else. Okay. Like, no, I'm talking to you. See, so that every time I was having doubts. Okay, when I got into the relationship, we broke up. The first time we got into the relationship, we broke up within 2 days. I was like, wait. Did I just say yes yesterday? No, that was not me. I don't think so. I'm not ready.
What was the cause of the breakup?
I just felt it's weird when someone asks me, are you single? Then I'm like, no. Like, that's saying no, it was weird.
Okay, like, so you wanted to say yes.
It was
no, you wanted to...
Because I was used to the yes.
Okay.
I was used to the yes. So this me saying no, this is new. Like, how do I just wake up? Like, 2 days ago, I was so
single. Now you're with someone.
Now I'm with someone. How? And I'm like, I can't do this. I don't know what I was on that time. I don't remember where I even said yes. But okay, no, we can't do this. Let's just be friends.
Okay.
And he was just like, it's okay.
All right.
I was like, yeah, yes,
we're friends.
Yes, we're friends now.
So was it more of a title that you are with someone that you weren't comfortable with?
Yes, it was like having that, okay, you see the way you're from, you're being promoted to positions.
Yeah.
Let's say, so I was just like, okay, I came from a girl, a lady, a girlfriend, then a wife. Hey, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go through that process. You see, I was like, I'm comfortable, being comfortable where you are. I was so comfortable with me always declining offers. I was so comfortable with that. Okay. So when it gets to a point where it's not even that I'm declining offers because I don't want to, it's because of the position I am at that time. I was like, no, this feels weird.
This is interesting. So you said yes, and then you broke up, and then so at what point did you go back? And at what point did you say, you know what, fine, let's just do this? Or is it a constant struggle every day up until now?
Okay, so the journey continued.
Yeah.
Then we'd just talk. It was not even more often like the way we used to talk. We'd talk because in my partner, I had a friend.
Yeah.
I had a friend and I had someone we could even talk about what are our goals, you see, the visions we have, the things that we feel impact the society generally.
Okay.
See, and that's when even the idea of the company came in, being the director of the company and stuff. So having that company, I was like, let me have something extra. Because there are times that love is just not enough, to be honest. There are days you wake up and you're like, apart from loving you, what else are we doing together? Okay, we don't have kids to focus on right now.
Yeah.
So there's something we need to have that we focus on, and that's where the business came in.
Sense of purpose.
Yeah, you have a purpose.
Victor, what do you think of this? I have so many questions, but again, time. Victor, what do you think?
I'm listening to where she's coming from, and I'm seeing the journey that she's been on. It's very interesting because she did not know she wanted to get into a relationship.
Yeah.
But the guy she married knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the guy was clear.
No, him was clear. And to me, a subway.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just didn't see him coming.
Okay.
Yeah, because men always know that this is the one I want to settle down with. Men always know.
True.
And so because he knows, he will work out the right science to get her.
Yeah.
The others had the wrong science. He had the right science. He was like, if I come slowly, I'll wear her down slowly.
I'll be patient.
I'll be patient. I'll be very patient and wear her down slowly. Others who came direct, I want you to be my baby. She was like, no. She could quickly say no. Because they were very direct. But this one came slowly and was able to build her trust over a period of time. And that is very, very normal. Something which is important, which is also saying, of course, the perspective is everything. Perspective of marriage is king.
It's very important.
Because how we look at marriage determines many things. I always say marriage is not for children.
Okay.
Yes, marriage is not
Define children in this sense.
Yes. And it's not, because people think that marriage is a playground. It is not. Yeah, my marriage is work and
where you come
work.
test, see if things work, and then if not,
it is serious, deliberate, continuous work on a daily basis. You're on the job every single day.
Okay.
And you see, marriage has to work at first place. You said something before you spoke to her about the couples who got married, like now him here, when they got a child, then how do you make it work? It's because you decided, no, let's put the child aside.
Okay.
Now it's me and you. Let's see how can we build this, the two of us. The child is there, fine, but me and you, how do we build? So marriage is not for children. And there has to be that mindset that hapa nimeingia shift. And if kama uingia shift, ni vizuri ukae tu kwa kona. Yes. Pastor said something very good, that God is the one who founded this institution. Yes. He said it's not good for man to be alone, but it's good to be keen. Not all men. Yes. Not all. I say not all men, I mean not all human beings. It's good to clarify that statement. Not all. There are those who it is good that they stay alone. Good, they stay alone. And so if you end up marrying the one who is good, they stay alone. You're in for a long one. So marriage is not for children at all, and you have to be deliberate to put in the work. And again, to go through the transitions. Because that's where we also miss it. The transitions of marriage. Because marriage grows. Marriage never stays static. Marriage grows.
It grows,
And you have to look at the marriage. How are we transitioning? Are we going the same direction? She talked about goals. Very important to have the same goals.
True.
Because if people get married and they had a diploma, and let's say, like my brother here, he said I dropped out of campus and we got married. What happens when he goes back to school? Then maybe she stays home. Sitting there. Kids. He does his degree, does his MBA, proceeds. Now he's working, he's traveling, he's doing business, and now she's still at the place where she dropped out of second year. Wakaa chini kuongea jioni. Wanaongea nini?
And I hear what she's saying. Like at the end of the day, so fine, we love each other, we're married, and then,
because it's true what she's saying, that at the end of the day, you realize in time that love is not enough. She said at the very beginning that if a couple is in Victor, why are you getting married? Victor, we are so in love. I tell them, you are not serious.
Go back and come back with a better
Come back with a better one, because it is a lot of work. And the moment people put love in front, and this is now the problem with our generation now. Our generation has been so broken, the point whereby we have our own utopic way of thinking that love is this. And people think that this person will come and they'll do this for me, they'll fulfill me like this. We never know that we marry people who we assume will heal us because they have the same deficiency as we do.
That's true.
That's true. We always marry the problem we have. Always we marry the problem we have. You can never sit and say that my husband's family has got witches and yours does not have. There's a witch in your family somewhere.
Just do a bit of digging.
Yes, we always marry our problem. That's why marriage is wisdom is. We don't complain. So marriage is not for children. If I realize that that there's a problem where my wife has a particular problem, I must be sure I have the same problem. I just express it in a different way.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Geoffrey, we have a few minutes to go on a break, but very quickly. So of course your wife left, right? Got someone else, and so they get like married, or cohabiting, or was it come we stay?
I can call it come we stay.
Come we stay.
Come we stay.
All right.
So now she's gone. I've looked for a job, started earning, putting my things back to in place. So I decided to approach my mom and told her, Mom, you know what? You have a grandchild. And she told me, a grandchild? At this age? And I told her, yeah. So luckily enough, my mom understood me.
Yeah.
She was more than willing to support. So she decided to initiate a dialogue between me and my wife, so that she can come back.
Okay.
And you know, we continue with our life. So when my mom approached my wife through a phone call, my wife told her that, you know, Geoffrey has been doing this and this, and the reason as to why she did it, she walked away, is because of my actions. You know, at first I felt
she's leaving because you don't have money.
Yeah, because I don't have money.
Yeah.
I also thought that marriage is about providing. Once you've provided for the child and for the wife,
then
everything is okay.
Yeah.
So with time, I came to understand that marriage is not about providing. It's about giving attention to your family, being there for your wife, being there for your child. You know, doing a lot of things.
Yeah, there's much more.
Yeah, much more. Some of them that I was not willing to do.
Okay.
Because I was young. I wanted to piga sherehe. At the same time, I have a family to take care of. So, as a young person, you know, talking about the influence from our background, I always told myself, my dad married someone outside our country.
Okay.
So I must follow his footsteps. So the minute I approached my wife and realized that she's not from Kenya, I said, wow.
This is a sign.
This is a sign. This is her. So, and no one, even my mom, my dad, could and cannot convince me that Geoffrey, this is not the right choice for you. Because I felt she's from the other country. This is the right
person to go.
Yeah. So I had to hustle, come up with a reliable source of income before bringing her back, because personally I felt that, you know,
that was the reason.
That was the reason.
But I'm happy that you're saying, you know what, I actually realized that is not the only reason that she left. There's so many other things, you know, that came about that forced her to leave. Okay, so we need to take a break, but I also need to go through some of the feedback that we have. But now, when we come back after the break, of course, I'd want to understand, so fine, having gone through, you know, all this ups and downs, the honeymoon phase, and then the child came, and then, you know, broke up and all those things, what are some of the lessons that you've learned, especially as a young person? And probably there's a young person watching us right now and thinking, Allah, okay, so this is how it goes. You know what? I get what you want to tell them. But let's take a look at some of the feedback that you have as far as the question of the day, and that is, why do you think there's you know, a rise as far as divorce or separation cases? So Patrick Njagi says, failure in a relationship with God leads to failure in relationships and marriages. Okay. Now let's get to hear what Cartman says. Toxic feminism. Ladies these days would rather be mpango or a second wife to a rich guy than build from scratch with a guy at their level. Okay, all right. And then Bob says, women these days are not submissive. The higher their level of education, the greater the chances of divorce. Let me just write that down. Submissive, okay? What do you mean by the same? All right. And then Godchild Stevenson Ngunanga says, comparison of relationships and marriages where partners feel unworthy in their marriage and relationship, okay? And then at Sam Ndabas says, nowadays, financial instability, dishonesty, exceeding selfishness, okay? And then this is Peter Chrysler Mwangi, says, marriages are not based on love, but circumstances. Okay, all right. And then let's get to hear what at Jeff_Kiplangat_ says, feminism, patriarchy is the source of order in marriage. When you bring in the equality, that is when things start going south. Okay, all right. There's a lot. Women are being blamed as far as, you know, what is happening. Then Sheila says, poor upbringing of children. Okay, thank you very much, Sheila. Of course, keep tweeting. That is at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_. We need to tell us, why do you think there's a rise as far as separation and divorce cases, in marriages and relationship is concerned? But again, to an ongoing campaign, which I said is very, very noble. And Kenya, what if we told you that your smile can help those next to you? Well, Colgate is helping to provide clean drinking water so that our children can have a bright future by staying in school. So for every pack of Colgate that you buy at your nearest Naivas store over the next 2 months, you are helping to build 30 water wells that will provide clean water for 120,000 people. Now, that's something to smile about. So visit the Colgate Kenya Facebook page or visit the website that is on wellboring/colgate.com for more information. Once again, terms and conditions apply.
Radical Communications is organizing Ceramics Africa, East Africa's prime exhibition on the ceramics industry from 4th to 6th May 2022 to KICC. Ceramics Africa brings you 100+ major international brands exhibiting a variety of products like floor tiles, vitrified tiles, sanitary ware, machinery and equipment, and more. Ceramic Africa is expecting to welcome 5,000+ enthusiastic members of the ceramic industry, such as traders, retailers, importers and exporters.
Why do we do it? Hide, cover up, tone down? Choose boldness. Celebrate the skin you're in and dress with confidence with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. The triple layered care of deep moisture serum, precious cocoa butter and vitamin E enriches your skin for 48 hours. It's time to show off your best skin. Wear your skin with pride every time with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion.
Welcome to BBC Podcasts.
Just being on the podium and hearing a national anthem played, that's what you compete for.
What if you could copy the desert's most famous animal to design a more environmentally friendly building?
Is Kim Jong-un trying to train a young generation of warriors in a new frontier, cyberspace?
Explore new worlds together with podcasts from BBC News World Service.
During his long playing career at Barcelona, there were many successes and historic moments for Xavi Hernandez to enjoy and savor. So it stings Xavi just as much as anyone for Barcelona to have achieved unwanted history during his first 6 months as manager. Just as Pellegrini was aware of what was to come in the Copa del Rey final. After 34 years as a manager, Manuel Pellegrini has a sixth sense that must be trusted. This is the Football Review.
Come August this year, Kenyans will head to the ballot to select their leaders for the next 5 years. Time has come for the electorate you're targeting to know you better. Articulate your thoughts, plans, and vision to the relevant audiences. Reach out to us through the contacts on your screen. You're watching Your World in association with Colgate.
All right, welcome back. Glad you're still with us. This is Your World, and just in case you're tuning in right now, it's all about the changing dynamics as far as relationships are concerned. I'm just trying to understand, do we have like that microwave mentality or attitude as far as relationships and marriages are concerned, where it's like easy in, easy out? You mess up, kidogo me, I'm out. See you soon, okay? And why is that the case? Why do we have a rise as far as separation and divorce, especially when it comes to marriage and relationships? Of course, keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Whitney, and remember to use the hashtag #YourWorld. Let's get to hear what more of you had to say as far as the question of the day. And someone talked about submission, and yeah, I'll come back to Pastor Sally and Victor as far as submission, but let's get to hear what more of you had to say as far as the question is concerned. So Peter Ndaria says the rise in competition from other social media, secret lovers. Allah, okay. All right. And then at Sankos, Junior Elias says away games are doing well, unlike home games, making it difficult for home investments. It is a worrying trend. Okay. And then let's get to hear what someone else has to say. Karen Cherono says everyone in marriage is held hostage to societal pressure. Getting married to please society is not a lovely marriage. Okay, so keep tweeting at NTV Kenya, Lubembe_Whitney. I want to hear, you know, what's especially Victor and Pastor Sally as far as this feedback. Like, clearly, there's a problem. People don't trust marriages anymore, and even relationships. And one person actually said women are not being submissive. Help us understand this term, submission. What exactly does that mean?
You know, with the fear of being lynched by men.
Okay.
I'll say this, you know, there are some that men have, is men assume that submission is a God-given right.
Oh.
They assume that once I get married to my wife, she has to submit.
To submit.
And so men believe that submission is a form whereby the woman has to go to a place where she's yielding to his authority. And men assume it's a God-given right. They forget something, and I want to balance these two things very, very quickly.
Yeah, because I want to ask Pastor Sally, but the Bible says women submit to your husband.
Yeah, but it begins by saying submit to each other.
To each.
Then it breaks down now.
Okay.
So there has to be the form of respect.
I can repeat that again for the sake of the man. Yeah. Make it you commercial.
That's it, actually. Because remember, the foundation of marriage is a marriage of two equals.
Yeah.
That's the foundation. Premise 1A, marriage is a marriage of equals.
Okay.
Then now, number 2, there is what? There is what we call structural functioning of the marriage.
Right.
In the structural functioning of the marriage, it is general assumption that, but again, I've traveled and there are countries I've gone to where you find that it is the woman who's the head of the house. If you go to Brazil, for example, you find that it's the women who are the head of the house. Yeah. It's very matriarchal in its own right.
Yeah.
I think blaming education, I think blaming girl child empowerment, I think blaming all those things. I think, to be honest, we're just being a bit lazy. Because the reality is this, is that if I get into a marriage as a man, I must have gotten my act together.
Okay.
I must get my issues together. Number one. Number two, when a woman is getting into marriage, she must get her act together.
Sure.
If she's entering into marriage with the mindset that siende kukaliwa, it means that she'll fight a battle which is not even there.
Yeah.
Meaning that she might just be told something as simple as help me with that cup of cup of water.
Yeah.
Now say me how can I kalia wewe? You see, because of her mindset.
Yeah.
So we must understand that we are a team. If I enter and be like, no, my wife has to. If I back, she must run.
Yeah.
Whenever I enter, if my wife speaks and asks me, why are we buying a blue car? I'm like, you're not being submissive. Yeah. You see where we get this very funny. I think that we have become a bit lazy now, whereby we want things to work in a very simple way. A man must know this in marriage. Men, we say that a man is priest, prophet, and king in his home.
Right.
Priesthood in marriage, the man takes priesthood. He begins to pray in his house. He prays for his wife. I've never met a woman who doesn't know a man who prays for her.
Yeah.
Even a witch, she wants the husband to pray for her. I have never met one.
Yeah.
Secondly, prophecy, as a prophet of his home, he activates it. How? By speaking life to his wife, speaking life to his children. Kingship in marriage is given. A man never takes kingship in marriage.
Okay.
The wife comes to a place where she trusts him enough to give him kingship.
Yes.
Yeah. And when she trusts him enough to give him kingship, she has realized that his best interests have her at heart.
Yeah.
When that happens, automatically, the marriage has synergy.
Yeah.
What is synergy? is my wife has an opinion, she can speak her opinion, but also there are moments when she has wisdom to allow me to also lead, to allow me, okay, fine, we are arguing about buying this or buying that, my opinion is this, but I'll respect your decision. But because there's teamwork, I'm not forcing it down her throat. Submission is not a God-given right. Apana, you earn submission in the marriage, and it's not slavery. Submission is a powerful woman, an empowered woman who has chosen to allow you, in occasions, to lead the family.
I like that.
That is submission.
I'm about to say hallelujah, but okay, Mrs. Sally, what do you make of this? Because it's true, a lot of people, when you mention the word submission, of course, the first thing that would think is they have to do what I say, they have to follow what I say without no questions asked.
No question.
Nothing, right? So for that person who still holds, the Bible says you will submit to your husband.
And I think mostly it's in Africa or maybe in Kenya mostly, where many people think that submission is, not having a voice as a woman, that you're not supposed to be heard or you're supposed to be blind or like a fool or stupid. That if you question decisions that your husband is making or question some things that you see are heading the wrong direction as far as both of you are concerned, or sometimes even he himself is concerned. Maybe you find himself getting into wrong business deals and you're trying to tell him, don't get into that. You're going to incur losses, or having wrong friendships. You're telling him, don't have that company. I don't see them, being of any benefit to your life. And sometimes the man begins to feel like, ni kama nimekaliwa. Why should you be telling me about who should be my friend?
I am the man.
Yes, I am the man. But they don't know that if you are in a genuine relationship or genuine marriage relationship, your wife has the best of interest for you.
True.
That even when they're telling you don't go this and don't do this, it means it's because they love you and they want the best for you. And so when we talk about submission, I know the Bible says that. But do you know the reason why the Bible says that we submit, first of all, and Victor made it very clear, to one another first and foremost. It doesn't just like give a command like it is the woman who is supposed to submit to the man alone. But first of all, we submit to one another. And that one gives us room to always give each other, opportunities where a man can submit to me and I can also submit to him. But also the reason why God says that women will submit to our husbands is because submission is because women have a lot of power. This thing you're seeing here, people writing that, about equality, about girl empowerment. The truth is we have power. Even minus equality and minus empowerment. We have power because
it is
God...
always saying, even before, okay, just going back to the story of Adam and Eve. She took the fruit and convinced.
Can you imagine as fast as that, women have a lot of power of influence. And I think that's why God clearly said that women will submit our power under another authority. Are you getting that? But not that we submit it under another authority to be oppressed. No, we submit it under another authority so that there's smooth running as far as, marriage is concerned. Because if we have all this power and strength and we let it loose, it's like freedom with no boundaries, and we let it loose, then it's going to be something else. It's going to be chaotic.
Because it's two forces, so one has to somewhat submit.
Just bring it under, but then also with understanding. I'm not bringing my power under a man so that he can oppress me, or so that I don't have my own mind, I cannot be able to make my own decisions. No, it's because I'm bringing it under him so that we can have a good marriage relationship. Yes, it's about us, not me.
Not me.
Yes.
Okay, because it's two, two different people coming together, to form a union. Okay.
And just what she said. As I said, that marriage is for children. And it's important to get your act together. Get your act together, because if you don't get your act together, and I speak especially if I speak to my brothers outside there, get your act together. As your man, jingisha kwa line. Yes. So that when this lady is coming into your life, no matter how strong she is, she will see a man who understands himself, a man who is stable, and a man who makes her feel secure. Women can easily yield to a man who makes them feel secure.
Absolutely.
Like, you're all over the place.
Yes. Lakini watasema niko na pesa yangu.
There is no plan. You are haphazard. You don't have, you're blowing money. You don't have a plan for finances. You have no plan. Then you're telling us submit. To what? Yeah, to what? So as men, I think it's important we get, and that's where now men, we also feel we complain, but don't want to get our acts together. No, let me get myself together first.
Okay, get your act together, in short. Okay, all right. So seriously, of course, having gone through, what you would say, it was a bit of a strain initially. How are you right now in your relationship? Did you manage to find like a middle ground? Because like I said, there's also a lot of influence, as far as, people from the outside would say, you know what, it's better if you guys are separate, because of the constant struggle. So how are you doing right now in your relationship?
Right now, I can't say we're perfect, but we're good.
Okay.
So as I said initially, a relationship is like a building. So despite everything that was coming, we had a strong foundation. And no one really ever has to understand why you are where you are, you see, because there's something, there's this thing I say that a relationship is not an harambe. You don't have to listen to everyone else's view. What is your view? So that's what keeps me going. What is my view about this?
Okay.
I might ask Winnie, and Winnie will tell me, no, the way you're going
everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah. So what is mine? Because I'm the one who is in this. I'm not in this with Winnie or with Sally or anyone else. It's me and him. Mostly it's me.
Okay.
It's me. Because it's my world. He's a character in my world. That's how I place it.
Okay.
So it's me to stand strong and see if I want to do this, and if the foundation is still as strong as it was. And as I've said, a relationship is a building. So if the foundation is strong, even if you're at the 7th floor, you can still add an 8th floor. But you can't start crashing 7th, 6th, going down so easily, because even if it crashes, the whole building will crash, but the foundation will remain.
Yeah. So then, again, if you don't mind me asking, what was that, like the biggest thing that really caused a rift that, some of your relatives were like, just break up, because you're hurting each other. The more you continue to stay together, you hurt each other more.
The big problem was that it is my first relationship. And they were like, we know nowadays a first relationship can never work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but okay, they're older people. Let's say our parents, let's go back to where our parents were. My father had my mother as his first girlfriend.
Okay.
And he turned into a wife, and they've maintained it.
Yeah.
So like, why can't it happen again, you see? And so the relatives were like, this cannot go on, because this is the first, why are you so confident with this?
That it will work.
Why are you so confident? This is your first relationship. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
You see, there's this thing of you don't know anything. You don't know what you want. Then you'll sit down, and I'm like, at times I'd sit and I would be like, do I really know what I want? Or is she telling the truth? Or is he telling me the truth? Okay, I'm like, it's about me. So despite everything that they were telling me, I was like, it's about, and it's not that we just have a relationship alone, we have a partnership. And that's what they were not getting.
Okay.
So you see, they're like, every day, why are you sticking with this one? We don't have the relationship alone. Like within the marriage, we have something extra.
Okay.
And it's not a child behind it. We have something extra. We are building. We are building. We're in the 2nd, 3rd floor, and we're going up.
Okay.
We're not coming down. And with the growth, many things are coming, and that's where even Omoka, the company, came in. So there are days that we don't want to talk about love, we don't want to talk about how our relationship is, but how is our business? See,
so you found something else, more of a shared purpose that helped you to still stay together, despite the rocks in the relationship.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because there are times we don't even have any, we might have issues with the relationship. But we have a business to do by the end of the day. We have a business. We have to talk to clients. A client can't call you and I'm like, I don't want to talk to you right now. In fact, this company, I'm so mad at my husband, so I'm mad at you too.
Because we share.
Yes, because he's also a shareholder. We can't talk. See, so because you know that at one point, imagine being called for a meeting, the two of us were supposed to go for a business meeting. Then we had an issue at home.
Yeah.
You see, so we can't bring it there.
Yeah,
because
you don't talk to each other during the meeting. Like everybody can clearly see.
Don't call me.
Okay, so something bigger than just the two of you.
Yes.
Okay then. And for you, Geoffrey, again, having gone through all those things, you finally managed to get your wife back, right?
Yeah.
And you said, of course, your mom had to intervene and just help bring the both of you together.
Yeah.
So how are you doing right now? How's the relationship? And you, like you said earlier on, you've learned, you know, a thing or two as far as what marriage is really about.
Right now, the relationship is good. I'm very happy to wake up in the morning, seeing my daughter, my wife, you know, that feeling. Before saying what I've learned, I would like to to add something on what Pastor Sally has said about women being powerful.
Yeah.
It's true, women are powerful, and the entire the empowerment process is bringing a lot of toxic information into relationship, simply because we find that we have women with their own brains, women with their own decisions, you know, women who believe in themselves. Now empowerment comes and some people tell you, start telling you, you know, one day you'll be married, but don't agree everything with that your husband is telling you.
Yeah.
So you find that women, they develop that you know, kiburi, and say, no, I'm going into this house, but this man will not tell me some things.
Yeah.
She has already planned that she will not agree with some of the things.
Yeah.
Something of which is good, because, you know, being so submissive makes the relationship and the marriage to lose its taste.
Yeah.
So you find
want
that
a bit of drama.
Yeah,
I had some person say that. They were like, I just want a bit of drama.
Yeah, the drama, actually, the drama brings a lot of, you know, taste into marriage and relationship. So you find that empowerment is also misleading our women at some point. Because, you know, someone you find, that's why you find women are complaining. We are complaining about boy child empowerment.
Yeah.
Because we also feel that, you know, these people are becoming more powerful than we expected.
Yeah.
So we also need to be empowered. Having said that, I would like to say what I've learned about you know, the marriage, relationship, and everything. Number one, marriage is not a playground.
Okay.
You cannot just wake up and say, you know, we are ready, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, you may have some little cash and think, you know, I'm ready to do this. This money can sustain us. We can do this and this. But again, when you start thinking, you know, you start developing the right thinking about your financial plans, then you find that you've already messed up. You've already used your savings. You know, making your family happy for a few years, then they are going to suffer for the next 10 to 20 years.
Okay.
The other thing that I've learned is that, you know, marriage needs a lot of attention and you know, perseverance, because we are not perfect. And if I could have decided not to make a follow-up on my wife and my child, then I would have subjected my daughter to a very, very difficult time. Because, you know, I don't expect that man to love my daughter the same way that that I do.
Okay.
So you find it needed a lot of commitment, a lot of, you know, attention, perseverance, and say, you know, yes, she went, but I still love her.
And you want her back.
I want her back.
Okay.
Lastly, I would like to say that, you know, marriage works at every age. Maybe, you know, whether you're 19, 18, 20, it depends with the interests. It depends with the agenda for you getting married. You know, we oftentimes, we as men, we decide, let me go and try this, But whenever I get another option that will be more suitable for me, I will rush
to that option. Again, one of the guys actually, from the feedback actually said the same. They said, uko nje, kunaonekana kuzuri sana. So it's difficult to keep, whatever you have. But again, at the end of the day, just do what is right. Like Victor said, get your act together, both of you, okay? Not only the mind. But we have very limited time, before we end the show. So I'd want to ask you, Pastor Sally, in the sense of course, understanding, all those things as far as pushing us to where we are now, as far as divorce, separation, day in, day out, you wake up and everybody is divorcing. Okay, not everybody, almost everybody is divorcing, right? So the question is then, will we ever get back to that fundamental, of what marriage is all about? Will we ever get there?
Sadly enough, I would say we won't.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't, because there are so many things that, there's so many things that bring together that, that weight, that gravity, that seriousness in marriage. That if we don't address them, which I don't think will be addressed, it might be very difficult for us to have stable marriages. Okay. For example, we were talking about issues to do with family background and upbringing. And as it is right now, where we are headed to, it's not going to get any better. So the children that are being raised right now, what kind of modeling are they having that will help them be able to have a positive attitude towards marriage in the coming years and decide that marriage works as we are saying, and it's not as calm, and love is not as calm, and I'm in this thing to stay. Sadly, the truth is there's nobody right now, or if they are very few people who are modeling relationship the right way to this generation. So also the issues to do with what we've been talking about, hardships, financial hardships, we've seen that with many people. It's not going to get any better, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. And so we go back to what the coach was talking about, Victor, the reason why. Why are you in this marriage? Because if you don't still go back to the reasons why we got together, issues like financial hardships will always make us break up and go to that other person who we think is going to be able to take care of us. So there are so many things that make a relationship work. And unless, and I think she also said that concerning the foundations, if we don't set the foundations right, no matter how high the building will go, it will come collapsing.
It will still come down,
And unless we address the foundations first, that's when we can talk about, some future generations having good marriages and relationships. But I still would say I don't see it coming.
Yes. It's difficult.
Yes,
and a lot of work has to be put in place to make sure that is achieved. Okay, so Victor, then what do we do? Do we lose hope about marriage, about relationships in general? Or what are some of the steps that we can take as an individual? Forget the society, forget family, forget, all these influences. As an individual, then what can you do just to make sure that when you get into a relationship, you're solid by yourself?
I want to bridge on something which Pastor Sally has actually said, whereby, of course, as a society, the possibility of us going back to what was supposed to be. Because also what was supposed to be, or what was before, was also absolutely 100% tamper-proof. If it was, we would not be here.
True.
So it's to go back to the individual now. Is I'm getting married to this person, what do I want? Marriage is life. I always say that marriage is life. Take it seriously. Because the issue we have is that, and I just want to summarize in very simple things. One, know who you married. Always know who you married.
Okay.
Always know who you married. I don't know why I hear people being surprised that, oh, my husband forgot it's our anniversary, oh, my wife forgot it's know who you married. There are people, even though you pray for them, you lay hands on them, they'll never remember their anniversary. It will not happen. So know who you married.
But then at what point do you know? Because again, people would tell you, but you never really get to know someone 100% unless
you will always have a form of bearing.
Okay.
I always say this because let's compare with when I want to buy a car, you want to buy a parcel of land. You always do the required research.
True.
We never ask the right questions. You always go for the screensaver. The person came, drove a Mercedes Benz, you got in and went and discovered that a dinosaur was living on the other side. So you have to be very, very keen to look at where am I coming from. Look at the pertinent issues. You know, there are very few things that you know about perspectives of people. Find out what do they think about money. Yeah, what do they understand about money? What is their life philosophy about money? Before just saying, oh, so and so is very gold digger or whatever, and you have no gold to be dug. You know, so you have to be very, very keen to know what is the definition of sex, what they understand sex is. You know, where do they come with that? You know, who are their friends? How are they raised? Know who you marry. Paper 1A.
Okay.
Also, the law of difference. I won't talk about that today, but the law of difference. A man will always remain a man. A woman will remain a woman. No matter how much the world transitions. A man will remain a man, a woman will remain a woman.
Okay.
That will not change. Tuache hii bangi ya kutry to shift vitu. We're trying to shift things, and now a lady is expecting a man to function the way he's not wired to function. And a man expects a wife to function that she can't function. Hiyo pia inatuharibia. Na ya tatu, work. Show up for shift.
I like that.
It is work.
I like it is work. It is work every day. Apparently, you work 2 days and then you're like, no, it is work. Constant work. It's the only one that does not have a break, right? Hakuna weekend. You work constantly. Okay, thanks, Victor. And of course, again, remember I told you like the article I came across. The 7 reasons marriage will be dead in the 21st century. Basically, everything that we've talked about, you know, an aspect of sex where, of course, we're saying, you know, like right now, masturbation has become less of a taboo, you know? So it's like people have options here and there. It's a lot, okay? The robots and stuff. And then, of course, the independence versus compromise, which, again, we've talked about. For women's financial independence, you know? And then, of course, the changing relationship culture. So it is a lot, but we can do a lot of work, you know, just to make sure that we're in a better place, okay? And, of course, back to your feedback as far as the question of the day, and that is, why do we have a rise in cases of divorce and separation as far as marriage and relationships is concerned? Let's get to hear what you had to say very quickly. So, Hadasa Mwangi says, hata kama ni wewe unaweza ishi na mtu unalipwa, analipwa 150k, anago missing 3 days, anarudi bila hata bao ya mboga. Aki men. Ayayay. Okay. And then Baba Aiden says, lack of shared interest and incompatibility between partners. Okay. And then this is Bayram Namai Mwendwa. It says, expectations, marriables have not learned, or is it marriages have not learned to manage their expectations of each year. That is why when times get tough, they leave, all right? And then let's get to hear what someone else had to say. At Shakzi Shaks LFC says, I have 3 wives and we're good and comfortable. Just teach your spouse faith and patience and true faith. And that's why I'm saying, try Islam religion. You will be surprised. Okay. Let's get to hear what someone else had to say. Wanja Douglas says, in today's world, we have no formula on how we should do marriages. It's all about managing expectations and choosing to remain married. Okay. And then someone else says, this is Ray _OHS says, nowadays, relationships is a scam. The modern days, relationships are based on interest satisfaction. Okay, very interesting feedback over there as far as the question of the day. But we have to close the show right now. So, of course, a special thanks to my panel. You know, today really bringing, you know, the issues to the fore as far as, you know, what we're dealing with in terms of relationships and marriage. So, of course, Pastor Sally Githinji, Victor Salamba, relationship coach, Rosalina Tieno Mondi, director of Mocha Digital Designs, as well as Geoffrey Juma, sexual reproductive health advocate. Sana. We've learned a lot. Takeaway message is work. Do a lot of work. Yeah, it's not easy. Like all of them have confessed. Marriage is not easy. Relationship is not easy. You have to do a lot of work. But before we say goodbye, of course, just to remind you of a campaign that is ongoing as far as Colgate is concerned. And when a child has to help their family fetch water, there's no such thing as day off. You can help us change that. So Colgate is asking all of you to help support the future of our country, and that is our children, all right? So remember, like we said, go to your nearest Naivas supermarket and, of course, purchase, you know, Colgate, and that will help keep a child in school. So my name is Winnie Lubembe. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow morning. That is at 7 to 9 a.m. for another interesting conversation. But for now, of course, also special thanks to everybody who put together and made sure that the show is a success. Have yourselves a lovely day and see you tomorrow morning. Goodbye.